Hi guys, I'm back again. As you can see, I still have the mess all over my table from earlier. So, yeah, I got some paints left over. I'm just going to do a real quick pour. I only have like 2 of these canvases left, so I got to get some more of those. But what I wanted to show you was yesterday morning, I decided to make some little pendants with my resin. And I've never actually done this before. I found these on clearance at Michael's. They were $2 for 2 of them. So I bought them just so I could try them out. And these were just 2 little paint samples that I smeared in my leftover paint, pulled it up, and I got 2 nice little cells out of them, out of like 500 paint samples. Look at all this. This is what I do with my leftover paint, and most of it turns out junky. That's all there is to say about it. I mean, kind of cool, but really you can't make pendants with these. They're not that interesting. They make, I'm you know, making like cheapy little bookmarks with them, just laminating them, cutting them in half and laminating them, and that way, you know, like when I get into this, like a craft fair or something, I can put them in a little basket for like 50 cents a piece, and you know. But anyway, this was fun. It took longer than I thought it was going to, and I have like a little air bubble in one of them. And actually, let me get you down so you can see it a little closer. So, hold on. Okay, now you can see them up close. The color is not quite that bright, but pretty close. But, so anyway, you know, they're all dry now. I'm trying to see if you can see the reflection from the, of course you can't. But, there we go. I poured resin. And look how shiny and perfect, and you can kind of see like right there, I accidentally stuck my fingerprint in it down there at the very bottom. Stuck my finger in it before it was dry, so it left a little fingerprint. But you can hardly tell. And then up in this corner up here, there's little air bubbles. That happened after I left, so I didn't know until I got home. And everything was completely dry. But they're real smooth. They're like glass. And they have a cool little, you know, piece of my art in them. The only thing I did wrong was I didn't cut like up along this top edge here. I trimmed it a little short so you can kind of see the gold underneath there. So they're not perfect. But this is what you can do with your leftover paint. Pretty cool. I'm real excited about these. I'm going to see if I can order some of the bezels online. So if anybody knows of like the cheapest place to buy some decent bezels. I don't want, you know, stuff that's going to fall apart in a day. But yeah, cheap, pretty, squares or circles, whatever. Anybody knows of a website that I can get these for a really, really good price, please let me know. So because I'm looking for them. I don't want to keep buying them in Michael's because they cost way too much. So that's what I'm totally excited about. Got those done. So I want to do a bunch of those just on, you know, on the side. So I'm going to show you my paint samples next. Okay, so these are just little, you know, the paint sample cards you get at Home Depot. You know, if you have any of these lying around and you don't have any Yupo paper, or like mixed media artist paper, works really well. It works just like a Yupo. It's just not quite as thick. These are ones that I just dumped in, you know, slapped them down in the excess paint on the table, and that's what it comes up with. And sometimes you can get some pretty out of them, and sometimes not so much. And there's kind of a pretty one. You know, and you could use like maybe that little area up there. Kind of looks like a scarab or something, you know, some kind of ancient beetle. That might look kind of cool in a pendant, maybe. And then this one, look at that. That, oh my gosh. That would look completely cool in a pendant. So that I'm definitely going to save and make a pendant out of. Maybe, I might even get 2 pendants out of that one. That's pretty cool. And onward. This one, actually, this is a pair right here. I just dropped paint in little droplets all over the paint sample, and then I smushed 2 of them together and rotated the top one, twisted it around 180 degrees, and then pulled them apart, and so it made sort of a chaotic sort of a swipe. But I think that would make a pretty cool pendant right there in the center. Pretty. This one, I don't know. Might get something out of it. maybe. And then these down here were also a pair where I just dropped them on, smushed two pieces together, and then pulled them apart. I didn't do any kind of rotating or... So like maybe this area right here might make a cool pendant. Especially like let's see, right there with the turquoises and that limey green and the dark blue kind of all mixed together. I'm not sure about the rest of that. If you had like a really big pendant, you could use like this whole section here, and that might look kind of cool. So, and there is the painting from the last. It's upside down. I'm sorry about that. But that's the painting from the last one. The last pour. It turned out pretty. It's obviously still drying because, you know, I just did it like half an hour ago. But you can give you a close-up of it. Sorry for the reflection. And interestingly enough, my CRC silicone, when the paint went down the side of the painting, that's kind of a pretty area right there in the center. When the paint went down the side with the CRC silicone, my paint didn't break up. But with the blaster silicone, for some reason my paint broke up on the edges. So the edges are I'm probably going to have to frame this one because the edges aren't beautiful. But that is the one from earlier today. Just wanted to show that to you. Okay, so little pendants. These were actually, I mean, you know, they were fun to do. And pretty cool that they turned out, that the resin turned out so perfect, other than that little air bubble there, and of course my fingerprint in the bottom of it. But I mean, you can't even see that. You can't hardly see it now. I was worried that you were really gonna be able to see it, but you can't. So I mean, really cool, fun. So try these out. So I've got some leftover paint here. We're just gonna do one quick flip cup. I probably could use this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use a fresh cup. I like to recycle things whenever I can, but there's a certain point at which you need to say enough is enough. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to put white, just use my white for the canvas, or just go ahead and do one just solid flip cup and be done with it. Because my white doesn't show up hardly at all, and that really disappoints me. We could put the white in last and see if that had any sort of effect. We can do that. We'll put just a hair of white in the bottom. And this paint, remember, it is, you know, it's a mixture of Artist Loft and Apple Barrel. And it has the CRC silicone in it, just a couple drops. So, and I've remixed them just to make sure that they are, you know, that the silicone has blended back in. We're just going to do a couple layers here. Get it all in there. You can already see the cells coming up. Pretty. Okay. Let's do a hint more white. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? I don't know if it's going to focus or not. But the cells look pretty. I think this painting is going to be overwhelmed with green, though. The green seems to be taking over. But that's not entirely a bad thing. Because I don't want it to look exactly like my last painting. Alright, let's go ahead and scrape the rest of these paints in there. I want to leave a little bit left because my girls want to play in the paint. So I'm going to leave just a hint of paint in here so the girls can paint. Okay. And then the rest of the white. That hopefully will be enough for this canvas. It's about, this is going to be borderline. Should we just pour it on there or should we do a flip cup? I don't know. You know what? Let's get the canvas wet. See all this paint? I'm going to borrow some of that paint. Sometimes this works out pretty cool and sometimes it definitely does not. But see, I'm picking up all, you know, a lot of that paint because it'll wet down my canvas. Look, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? But it's not. It's not cool enough to save. It's just really cool enough to wet down that canvas, right? Okay, so let's pick up some of that. Put it on the edges here. Wet the edges down. That way my paint will move a little easier. And hopefully it will, you know. I mean, that's almost a cool enough painting to keep, but not quite. Try to get in some of those spots that didn't get covered there. And that way, if you don't have enough, you know, with this canvas, I had to take the staple out because there was a staple sticking out the side of it. I'm used to having staples stick out the side of it because I do something, you know. Because as you guys know, I like to staple the backs of my canvases because this corner right here, these corners, they tend to come up if the paint hits. If the paint gets too thick on the backside, the corners will come up, and so from the side it looks junky. So it won't lay flat against the wall. So I staple my corners with a staple gun and then hammer them down in there. So, and then of course put my push pins in there, and that way you can adjust the level with your push pins instead of trying to level out your entire table, which has not worked for me. I mean, I tried and tried and tried to get my stupid table to be level, and it didn't matter what corner I picked up. Okay, let's get this on the thing. No matter what corner I tried to fix, the thing was not level for nothing. So I'm gonna move these paints, these last little tiny bits of paints out. Give it a second to come down out of that cup. I know I should have sprayed my cup, but I didn't want to overload it with silicone. And I don't really know if it would overload it. And I'm looking at the other one, and I don't know. I don't know. I might have to do that experiment again, just like on 2 separate canvases. Okay, let's get this poured out. And I was going to find my palette knife, but I don't know where it is, so we're just going to scrape some of this paint out so we can use it to get my paint to come over the sides of the... There we go. Not pretty, but it won't stay. So, I don't know, that's kind of... It kind of looks to me like some of it's breaking up. The cells are not beautiful, so we're just going to pick it up and pour it really fast off this time. Especially since I don't have enough paint. And I kind of like doing it fast sometimes because when you do it quickly, sometimes you get this like hazy effect over it, and it's really super pretty. Subtle, but pretty. Come on, come over that corner. There you go. There we go. Okay, I'm not liking that flat line. This line where it kind of comes down and goes whoop, straight across. So I'm just going to kind of... I don't know what's going on in that corner right there. I don't think it came down all the way. There we go. Okay, there we go. We're going to leave that one. They're not beautiful cells. The colors are not defined at all. But not everybody wants a totally dramatic painting. And this is subtle. I like subtle sometimes. It's just calming, you know, maybe for like a bathroom or something. Look at my hands. Even those are calming. I better quit doing that. I'm going to drip on my painting. But you can see, look, we got cells coming up. I'm going to rinse my hands off, and we will fire that. Okay, that's enough paint off of there. Let's take the fire to it and see what we get. Look, we usually have Pac-Man cells, but look, this is like a little ghost. You see him? He's like flying off that way. He's the Pac-Man ghost. And we got a little jellyfish cell going on right there. Everybody's sort of floating in the ocean. Okay. Sides first, because I always forget the sides. Oh, look at those little cells that came up as I was flaming the sides. I don't want to get it too close, as you know, because you don't want it. This is going to turn out to be a lot of little cells. So my subtlety is kind of gone. And I mean, I could stop firing now, but I kind of like what's going on here. I kind of want more of that. I'm not digging this huge bright green cell here. It's kind of out of place, but not a lot I can do about it. So look at these. These are gorgeous little cells. Oh, look at all those, the way they're all smushed together. I love them when they smush together like that. And I'm holding this, you know, about this distance. You know, obviously I'm not burning my hand. Otherwise I would have gone, yep. So, just the heat, not the flame. I occasionally I will see somebody go really super close to they're like actually putting the flame on their and you know, if you do it like super quick, it won't bother your paint. Wow, this is actually turning out kind of cool. We have all these oh man, these cells are just, oh, my ghosty is like, he looks like he's got hair now. Oh, I just love these. These are so super awesome. Even the cells going down the side. Holy cow. There. I gotta get rid of that little white spot right there. Oh, there we go. Perfect. That was super bothering me. And look, these are getting bigger over here. And that's not from the heat, because I'm not doing that over there. I kind of want little ghosty to do something else. See, these are just seem kind of out of place for me, but I don't want to mess with them. Okay. That is it. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to get y'all down real quick. Okay, I like to like pause it before I get y'all down because sometimes when I watch people get their you know, cameras down, I get kind of nauseous. I get kind of ill. It makes me kind of dizzy, so I don't want to make y'all ill. Look at those little grouping of cells. Cool. But look at those cells. Oh, man. Look at the outlines on them. They're like cells within cells within cells. Look at those. Aren't those pretty? The lime green and the turquoise. Oh, those are so pretty. Look at that. There's a comet come blasting through all those cells. That's what it looks like to me anyway. I'm sorry for the shadow. My hand is always in the way. I turned on my bright light today, so. But you're pretty much seeing that the yellow cells on the side, they're not quite that yellow. They're more of a lime green. But look at those cells. Look. I gotta show you those again. I'm super excited about those. Those are just pretty. They're not real big, but they are pretty. And that just looks kind of like a little grapefruit section right there or something. I mean, come on. This is just the leftover paint. Who wouldn't be excited about this one? Give you a shot of the sides. See, the cells even go down the sides. They're a little broken because I was whacking them on the table. But still, pretty cool. I can't go around that way because all my paint cups are on the table. So, all in all, look, it's a parrot taking off in flight. You see, like, his little head is right there and his little mouth, and then he's got a wing here and a wing there. It's a parrot from the Amazon. Okay. Look at those. Okay, I'm going to leave you with those cells right there because those are super, super pretty. So, y'all go out, make some awesome paintings or art, you know, whatever kind of art you do, sculpture, paint, whatever. And I am going to go fix some lunch because I'm about starved to death. So, y'all have an awesome afternoon, morning, night, whatever it is for you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Y'all are totally awesome for sticking around listening to all my gabbing. And just, you know, whatever. Have an awesome day. See you later. Bye.